picture this. You're driving along, whether you're on vacation, getting one last one in before the summer ends and fall starts, or maybe you're driving to your career or family member or loved one that you just absolutely love spending time with, and you are reminiscing on how wonderful it is that you have put in the work and gotten on that path to a life, the kind of life that you desire and deserve. Because goodness knows you have been through some crap in the past and you are finally breaking through it and making progress. You know that that life that you desire isn't just a one stop on your journey through this world. It is a destination that you are going to continue to up level through and continue to find new ways to enjoy. And you are finally on your way. And then wham, something comes up and strikes out of nowhere, physically, literally, your car. And you know that when that strike happens, it is going to steal away so much of what you have worked so hard for. It's going to affect every aspect of your life. Maybe for the next few days, maybe for the next few years, maybe even longer. We all know someone who has gotten into a car wreck, whether it was, from some other driver, or maybe it was Mother Nature was just pitching a fit that day. Something happened and it set them back, either short term or long term. And when those accidents happen, they affect every aspect of your life, not just how you're getting through, your morning, how your routine is going to have to be different because now everything freaking hurts. How is it going to affect your career and how well you're able to focus and pay attention through that brain fog that the adrenaline dump gives you, not just from the initial accident, but the days that follow as that adrenaline has to work its way through your system, which, by the way, can take even up to 2 weeks for all of those chemicals to work their way through. And if you got injured, that constant pain that keeps coming up is going to keep refiring that adrenaline dump and keep refiring that brain fog. How is that going to affect not only your career, but your relationships, what it is you're able to do with your time at work, out of work, free time? How is it going to affect how you're interacting with everyone that you come across? And how is it going to set you back with all of the progress that you've made? It might put you back even further than square one. You might be behind 0. And it's not fair. And it's not your fault. Even if the reason that that accident happened was maybe some negligence on your part, most likely it's not gonna be. In most cases, it's not your fault. Some other jerk or Mother Nature herself, something happens. And right now, with car accidents, the stats vary, but I've seen anywhere from car accidents being up anywhere from 20 to over 30% more this year over last year. And given those numbers, it's really freaking likely that you or someone you know that you care about is going to end up in this situation. What you can do, even if it's not your fault, and even if the accident itself is your fault, all of this fallout, it's not your fault. But what you can do is take your power back after that accident and get back in control by breaking through that painful roadblock that comes up, that your body experiences after a car accident, and break through in a way that gets you back on that path to your true destination, to that life that you really desire and deserve to be living in a way that's faster and easier than even before the wreck ever happened in the first place. So how do we do that? That's what we're going into today. If you're new to my world, welcome. I'm Dr. Vicky, general chiropractor for people as well as pets. I'm a Reiki healer, and a mind-body coach. I'm here to be your guide to help show you the way to get from where it is you are in life, or where it is you might end up if you're not careful, to where it is you really want to go. Faster, easier, with less effort, in a way that helps you live life the way you really should, living that life you really desire. So, why is it that after a car accident, everything flipping hurts? Oi! Why does this happen? Because it's not just whiplash. We all have heard about whiplash. We all hear the lawyers on the TV and I'll see them on the billboard. You got whiplash. It's more than just that. Because when you're in a car accident, your whole freaking body hurts. Right? Right. Goodness knows, I have been in too many car accidents myself. I got on a first name basis with my auto body shop when I was in college. Not a good place to be. So I understand. I've been there. I get you. Don't be me. Learn from my mistakes. The reason our whole bodies feel absolutely wrecked after we get in a wreck is because of what our bodies are programmed to do as a protective mechanism. When we start to be put into a position out of our control by forces out of our control that could injure us, whether that be, we step in a chug hole in the field and start to twist our ankle, or somebody taps us from behind in the car in traffic and we start to, momentum. We are the object that continues for momentum. Something starts to get overstretched. Our body naturally tenses everything it possibly can to create a natural brace to prevent something from being moved too far, moved outside of its normal and healthy range, being injured. Everything tenses up to stop that from happening. However, those bracing forces that our body can automatically generate are limited. And the forces that are continuing your body's motion in that car accident, whether it's continuing you to move forward while your seatbelt is holding you back, or maybe you had a side impact where you were going forward and now you're being thrown the other way, crossways, those forces are so often completely overpowering what our body's natural stop mechanism can achieve. So we have two very strong forces at odds. Your body's muscles are trying to hold on for dear life and keep everything from moving, while the natural forces of the accident are completely blowing through that. So everything is tensing and getting overstretched at the same time. And that leads to lots of micro trauma, which is to say damage. If you have been in a car accident and you don't feel injured enough to need to go in the white box to the hospital afterwards, you're still up and moving, you're just sore, and that soreness is gonna get worse over the next few days. It comes up because all of the fibers in the muscles, in the ligaments around the joints, in the joint capsules themselves, the tendons, all of that soft tissue has gotten microscopic tears from that overstretching while being tensed and braced. And all of those micro tears are going to lead to inflammation, because now we've got all of this damage. Even though it's at a microscopic level, there's a lot of it. And your body has to heal that damage. So your body's going to flood the system with extra fluid, blood, nutrients, things that are going to help bring in all of the good stuff that's going to help those tissues heal and flush out all of the damaged cells that it can't repurpose, it can't bring back online. So you have inflammation. Inflammation is also showing up as swelling because we're bringing in all that extra fluid. So now not only are all of these tissues torn, microscopic tears throughout, it's kind of like razor burn on an internal level, But now we've got all of this extra fluid floating around in there, swelling all of those tissues and overstretching them again. It seems counterintuitive, but that's the best way our body can deal with these kind of injuries. And it freaking hurts. Everything feels so sore. And on top of that, you'll probably have some more major micro tears that maybe aren't as microscopic, but probably aren't as bad as needing you to go to the hospital for any kind of repairs. And I'm talking about whiplash. Whiplash is a sprain of your neck joints, just like you would sprain your ankle or sprain your wrist. Those ligaments that hold those joints together overstretch so much that now they're not doing a very good job of holding those joints together, and everything is moving too far. And that is a recipe for things continuing on a downward spiral of injury on top of injury. If you've ever sprained your ankle, you know it's a whole lot easier to sprain it again. If you've ever had whiplash, it's a whole lot easier to get whiplash again. And worse every time, just like with your ankle. So, what can you try if you have been in a car wreck to minimize how much of that pain and swelling and just general awful feeling that can come up, those painful roadblocks in your body after that car accident? How can you minimize that? How can you start to treat it on your own and possibly with some help so that you can break through that roadblock so much faster than you could without, and get back on the road, back on the path to that life that you really desire? Now, I have to give the doctor disclaimer. Yes, I am a doctor. No, I am probably not your particular doctor. If I am, call me. If I'm not, call me. Let's see. You need to speak to your own personal doctor to get something customized to make sure that what I'm about to tell you is correct in your situation. I'm going to go over some generals that in the vast majority of cases, this will be appropriate to try. If you do try these, please ask your healthcare provider before you do to make sure it's okay for you, whether you do or not, and you go to try these whether you've asked or not. If any of these start to make things feel worse, stop and go talk to your healthcare provider. Okay, disclaimer complete. Here's some things that you can try after you've been in those car accidents, and try these as soon as possible after that car wreck, because it can take a little bit for that pain to start to show up. But you could start these methods before it ever does. So, number one, after that car accident, your first call should be to your local law enforcement, if appropriate, or to emergency services, if appropriate. Next call should probably be to your insurance company, and then the call right after that should be to your chiropractor. You need to get in to see a gentle chiropractor who you can trust to not overdo it on your care. Right after a car accident, everything is raw. All of your nerves are wired and fired and ready to tell your brain every single thing that is going on that is going to hurt it. So you don't want to go put your body through a whole lot of forces with somebody who's going to whip your head around backwards and throw you through the floor. Yes, I'm exaggerating, but only a little. I've been to those guys who are too rough myself as a patient. I've been to them after my own car accident experiences. It's not fun, and it's not helpful. You need to see someone who is gentle, who is going to work with your body where it is at that moment after that accident in a way that is going to help it move forward in the healing process without causing any more distress to your body. By the way, if you're looking for a gentle chiropractor, you're not quite sure who to reach out to, give me a call or a text message. Let's see if I'm the right fit for you, and if I'm not, I'll let you know what your next step might be. You can reach me with a call or a text message at 636-751-3150, or go to my website, completewellnesscc.com. So after you've called your chiropractor, you might have to wait a little bit for that appointment. They probably can't get you in right that second, especially since most car accidents tend to happen outside of business hours, unfortunately. So while you're waiting for that appointment, here's what you can do to help yourself before you get the expert help. If you may have had whiplash, and the vast majority of car accidents, there is some whiplash component there. Something you can try is what I like to call a water bottle stretch, which is going to do two things. It's going to combine cold therapy to help calm down that inflammation that we talked about, as well as helping to stretch what might be too tight after that accident. So what you're going to do is grab a cold water bottle or a cold can of soda, something cold and about that diameter of a water bottle or a can of soda. Lay flat in the floor on your back. Put a towel or a t-shirt over top of that cold beverage so that you don't have something too cold right against your skin. We don't want frostbite on top of everything. And you're going to lay in the floor on your back, and you're going to put that water bottle or that cold can of soda right in the hollow of your neck, right underneath your neck on the floor crossways, so that you're laying on this nice little, it's like a little bolster pillow that way, but without the squish. And that will allow your neck to start to rest and stretch back into its natural curved position. Your neck should curve backwards. It's supposed to. When you have whiplash, that curve gets overstretched. And now that means that all of the muscles that hold up the bowling ball that is your head have to work a whole lot harder. If you are holding a dumbbell or a heavy can of soup or something like that with your hand cocked back to where your fingers are further back than your wrist and your thumbs a little forward, if not right where your wrist is at, it's pretty easy to hold that weight that way. If you flatten out your wrist so that now your fingers are right over top of your wrist and your thumbs forward, it gets a whole lot harder to hold that weight. If you bring your fingers even more forward than your wrist, that's way harder to hold that same weight. The same thing happens in your neck when you have whiplash. Your neck is supposed to be curved backwards to where the weight of your head, which is 8 to 10 pounds-ish, it should be resting right over top of your neck with that gentle curve in it to help support it. When you have whiplash, that curve starts to flatten because all of those ligaments in the back of your neck have become overstretched and overlong. So now they're too loose. Now that curve in the back of your neck is not there as well. So now it's a whole lot harder to hold up that bowling ball. And all of those muscles in the back of your neck have to work that much harder to hold everything up. So we want to stretch the back of the neck back into its natural curve in a gentle, easy way that's going to help relieve those muscles that are trying to hold everything up and help get that neck into the correct position so that the ligaments can heal the way they're supposed to and get as close to normal as they can. So you're laying on your back on the floor, that cold water bottle or cold can of soda in the hollow of your neck, shoulders on the floor, head touching the floor. Don't let your head hang out in space. That's hard. That works all of these muscles in the front of your neck, and we don't want that either. Everything's sore right now. We want to let everything rest. So if your head cannot touch the floor, stack up some washcloths or fold up a towel to take up that extra space between the back of your head and the floor. So you're going to lay on the floor on your back, that cold water bottle or cold can of soda with a t-shirt over top of it in the hollow of your neck, shoulders on the floor, head on the floor, or resting on a stack of washcloths or a folded up towel. And lay there for 5 to 10 minutes, however is comfortable for you. If it starts to get too uncomfortable, stop and get up and start to let that cold calm down that inflammation in the back of the neck. Start to let that gentle curve of your beverage of choice start to ease that overstretching that happened in the neck. What else can we do for the rest of the body? Because car accidents affect so much more than just your neck. It affects your whole body. The next thing you can do is start some slow, very gentle yoga. And this is for a couple of different things. This will help not only to stretch and relax and ease those tight muscles, in a healthy way that's not going to overstretch them and re-damage them. Remember, everything tensed up, but a lot of things got overstretched while they were tense and got those micro tears. So we don't want to overstretch things. That's why we're doing gentle, easy, slow yoga, nice and controlled, so that you can really feel if you have a limit in your body on emotion, you don't push into that limit. You don't exceed that limit. So it's going to start relaxing all of those muscles that are tightening up. The deep breathing from the yoga, along with the slow, gentle motion, will help to clue your brain and your nervous system into the fact that we can now complete the fight or flight response. When you were in a car accident, instantly your adrenaline response, your fight or flight response, kicks in and kicks in hard. And that adrenaline response is a cascade of chemicals that keep bombarding your system for quite a while. A few hours up to a couple of weeks. You're constantly getting hit with adrenaline, which is constantly keeping your entire body in fight or flight. It's keeping your blood pressure up. It's keeping you laser focused on threats, but oblivious to other things that are also really important. Increased breathing rate and increased blood pressure, making everything slower again because we already have all of our blood flowing around trying to heal everything. And now we've got extra blood pressure on top of that. So we want to tell our nervous system, thank you for firing off that fight or flight response. It is helpful and important, but that is now complete. Now it's time to get back to calm and to rest and to healing as we get back to our normal life, where we don't have to hide or run from threats anymore. Because what tends to happen is when something comes up that kicks us into fight or flight, and we can either run from this threat, from what's stressing us out and kicking us into fight or flight, we can either run from it, nor can we fight it off. It just is. The car accident happened. It's over. It's done. There's no longer anything to fight off or to run from. So what happens is our body freezes and our minds freeze. That's the third component you don't hear about very often. It's not just fight or flight. It's fight, flight, or freeze. We don't want things freezing up, mentally, physically, or emotionally. So we want to start telling the body, I'm in a place where I'm safe enough that I can take deep breaths, and I'm safe enough that I can move slowly and start to ease my body. That's going to help keep you from freezing up physically, mentally, and emotionally. Last thing you can do to help yourself while you're waiting for that chiropractic appointment after your car accident is hydrate. We have so much blood flowing around trying to heal everything. Pardon me. Speaking of hydrate, hydrating is important. Pardon my allergies. Hydrating is so important, not just when you're talking on a video or on a podcast, but when you have been in that car accident, you've got so much more blood flowing around trying to flush out the damaged cells that are clogging the system and bring in all of the nutrients and healing and good stuff so that your body can heal. That process will go a whole lot faster if you freaking hydrate. And most of us are dehydrated. There are very few folks out there who, yes, you do drink enough water. You definitely want to make sure you're still drinking water after that car accident. It can be real tempting to grab a adult beverage of choice to help de-stress afterwards. I'm really going to caution you to reach for the water instead. Find some other way to take that edge off, like with some gentle, easy yoga. You need the water. The alcohol is not going to help the system. You need the water. Hydrate. I'm going to take another sip of water. Hydrate. So now you have some things to try. if you've been in a car accident or the next time you are, because the numbers are showing it's much more likely, especially this year, that you're going to get into a car accident, and it's probably not going to be your fault. But you can take your power back and get control after it happens. Now you've got some ideas to try. If you need further assistance with this, I look forward to hearing from you. Again, my number is 636-751-3150, or my website's CompleteWellnessCC.com. Be safe on your journey through life, to work, or to that next vacation. And I look forward to hearing from you. Go out and enjoy the path that life has got you on right now. Bye.